town. Dorothy Thompson speaking to you today from here on the banks of the Pine River, where I bet there's wildlife, including deer at times. Well, a gentleman by the name of Mark Thomas took us around and showed us what was happening at the Deer Classic.
Oh, where he found him? Oh, they'll find out if it was
They want to know the coordinates, yeah, to determine for sure.
Sure.
The second, okay, 3 in the world.
Yeah, you got 2 major.
And then,
Welcome, I'm Mark Thomas, and we're here with the Driftless Area Deer Classic. This is being hosted today by the Richland Center Archery Club, and it's one of our fundraisers. And I guess we're going to take a tour today and look at all the great stuff that we've got going on this Saturday morning. To start with our opening, coming in the door, we have a raffle that's comprised of some guns and some donated equipment from area vendors. And we will look inside and visit our vendors. Okay, in one of our booths that we have here is Whitetail Dream Real Estate with Patrick Geis. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about what you're here for today?
Sure. We work as a real estate company throughout Wisconsin. We specialize in country homes, recreational land, hunting land, and farmland. We're specific to Wisconsin. Myself, I live just north of here near Hillsboro. Spend a lot of time working in Richland County, Sauk County, Vernon County, Juneau, Adams, basically all of south central and southwest Wisconsin. My background prior to and still during real estate is actually also in forestry. Where I have a degree in forestry from UW-Stevens Point, work as a consulting forester throughout the area as well. So whether you're looking for forestry or real estate expertise, I'd be happy to help.
How long have you been in business?
Our company was started in 2012. The founder would be Jeremy Van Holy. It's based out of more the north central to northeast region of the state. That'd be right around Wapaka County. Also do a lot of work in Shawano, Oconto, Outagamie, basically anything north central to northeast. And I happen to be our furthest southern agent handling this area.
All right.
Hopefully that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Another one of our vendors is Cabela's, and we have Randy Christensen here to talk a little bit about Cabela's and why they're here.
Yeah, hey, we are getting ready for spring right now, kind of getting into our turkey. We got fishing ads going on at the store too, a bunch of different stuff there, and of course always we got Cabela's Club, which saves you a lot on stuff. If something you're interested in too, stop down to our store, talk to us there, and we'll get everything going for you.
What is all this now?
So part of this is we're promoting turkey hunting, what we're doing with it. I do some different classes that are learn to hunt classes. I know they do them locally over here. We sponsor that kind of stuff. So just part of our show.
All right. There, now you can turn the volume up.
There we go. Thanks.
Sure. Do you want a free cab?
No.
No?
You want one, don't you?
Yeah, sure. Why
What
not?
color do you want?
The black.
Want a black one?
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Thank you.
No problem.
What's this now? Ah, I smell something good.
So another vendor we have here is, and you can smell it if you come in the door, Prem Meats. We have Ross here that's going to talk a little bit about Prems and why they're here today.
Yeah, we're here to promote our venison. We got a bunch of different, we got sticks, we got regular barbecue, hot and spicy jalapeno cheddar, pepper loaf, and garlic summer sauce. We also got kielbasa, and venison bacon is probably what you're smelling. We're just frying that up right now.
I've never had that.
It's good. Have some.
Should I?
Yeah, we gotta get a live reaction for you.
Okay. Venison bacon.
A little warm.
Uh-huh.
It's fresh off the skillet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even ask, but the snack sticks, the barbecue
Oh,
ones,
that's okay.
definitely are good.
Yeah.
Are you guys open 7 days a week?
We are. Sundays we're open 9 to 3.
Okay.
Now, do you guys take whole deer
We
in?
do. We do the whole deer processing. We do
Can
have
they
a
also
roast deer.
just bring in bagged meat?
Yep,
They've done
bagged
themselves?
meat, minimum of 25 pounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
We
So
turn
when
it
you
in.
process, I mean, you go to the site, don't you?
For our beef
the-
and for the pork,
Right,
we do.
right, that's-
We get the deer carcasses get brought in.
Wow, this is good.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It's one of our favorites.
okay, well, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Feel free to stop back in and get some more.
Oh, I will.
Okay, I'm here with Marlon Laidlaw, and he's with the Wisconsin Buck and Bear Club, and they register and score bear and deer in the state of Wisconsin, and they do a great job. And Marlon, why don't you talk a little bit about what you guys do and why you're here?
Right. All right. We have a bunch of measures back in the scoring room there that are measuring all the animals that are here in the building today, and these particular animals here are all of some of the state records. Some of them were number one, and of course others get shot, and so they move down. So the one right in the middle, which is our favorite, was world record for a long time. That's the Jordan buck. One of those great-looking non-typicals over there. That's the number 5 in the state. That's called the Keitzman buck. This was a former bow kill state record. That was Brian Inda's buck. This is the present state bow record. Charlie Bocook out of Columbia County. That one's out of Fond du Lac County. That's a non-typical. That's number 2. That's number 3 bow kill. That old one in the back there, that's the Joe Haskey buck from up in Wood County. That's the 3rd biggest buck. At one time was number 8 in the world.
How old is that?
That's from 1945.
Okay.
And it's written on the back, because it's original mount. And on the back it says, Ewald Lindo, Medford, Wisconsin, $15. That's what it costs to mount that deer. Wow. And this beautiful deer by McManor, he's a Iowa County buck. He's entered in the show. He just happens to be on a pedestal, so we put him in there. And of course, all of the different organizations are listed right here, and how much it costs to put an animal in all these different ones. You got Boone and Crockett, Wisconsin Buck and Bear Club, and Pope and Young, which is the record for bow kill there. And the prices are listed on there, so, and the minimum, so people know. We have record books for sale, and we're going to be printing a new one this summer. And, that will be our 60th anniversary as a club this year.
This coming summer.
This year is our 60th anniversary.
60th.
We are other than Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young, we are the largest state or provincial organization in North America when it comes to measuring. We are the leading contributor to both of these organizations. No other state has as many entries in the records as we do. We have over 3,000 Boone and Crockett's in there, and we have over 15,000 archery kills. And now, of course, you have crossbows as well, and that number is going up, but that's a separate record. It's not in Pope and Young, or you can put them in Boone and Crockett if they're big enough. You can put them in Wisconsin Buck and Bear Club.
And so, Marlon, why is it, I guess, why do we care that Wisconsin's producing, what is the implication for the landowners and some of the people in Wisconsin that we're tracking the quality of the deer, the high quality of deer we have in Wisconsin? Why is it important?
Well, I tell you, part of it, it's a historical thing. Obviously, a lot of these deer that you see around that are here were on the earth a long time ago. That big record there was harvested up by Burnett County in 1914. So we've been producing deer for a long time without the aid of food plots or anything else. I mean, these great big animals here in Wisconsin. You have areas of the state, there's a lot of limestone in the soil, and sort of water washes over the limestone. They drink it. All the crops are growing in good limed, which is calcium, which is part of the deer antler composition. I mean, I guess Wisconsin is just unique in that we have the right mix of agriculture and forestry that deer thrive here. I mean, no matter what we throw at deer, they just seem to do better. The technology is much better. The knowledge that hunters have is much better. Less reliance on luck, although it's still an element. But those things don't seem to matter. The deer just keep getting better and better, and they avoid us. And I don't know, they must have a book on us because they avoid being harvested. I mean, it's just, they get bigger and better, and it's pretty impressive. They are a, what do you call it, a legitimate competitor. they beat us a lot. So, and of course, wolves now challenge them, and bears in the spring killing their fawns, and all those things are challenges, but they manage to survive all of that. I don't think they'll be gone from this earth in Wisconsin very soon, if ever.
They've been around a long time.
Oh, right.
So do you ever get anybody ever ask you, because I'm certain that it has an impact on the value of land. Do you ever have people ask you, hey Marlon, if I want to buy some land, where can I have my best chances? I hope you promote Richland County.
I'm starting to be a big fan.
Where do you ever get people ask you, hey, where can I buy land where I can optimize my chance to shoot a monster buck?
Oh yeah. Well, you're talking about a hell of a county right here, Richland County. But if you go in any county near here, you'll find the same thing is true. What's happened here? It's been a sleeper down here. People didn't realize, except if you were local and you had relatives or friends, all of a sudden the land is being purchased by hunters, not by outfitters or anything else. Nothing against outfitters, but it changed the dynamic. If an outfitter's in an area, when he sells a hunt for $4,000 or $5,000, that fella comes from down south somewhere. He's going to go home with something. And if it's the last day of the hunt and a smaller animal comes along, he's probably going to shoot that animal. Can't blame him for that. Where if you're owning that land and you've got 100, 200 acres and you've been watching some bucks, you've got a buck you want to shoot. You don't want to shoot that little guy because you know in a couple of years he's going to be that upper. So those are the things that make it a different dynamic. Richland County is full of landowners that they're managing, and you can see the benefit of it here. You go to Buffalo County, they always had good, but they were well known, so people come from all over the country to hunt there. That's not the case here. And to answer the question about telling people, one of my friends who was in the realty business told me, he said, central part of the state, which is Wood County, we're not known for monster buck, but we got nice bucks up there. That old one, he's from Wood County. Well, anyway, he said right now, because of bad winter last year, up north, a lot of snow, and you got predators, a lot of predators. He said, an acre of land up there goes for about $1,000, $1,500 if it's heavily wooded. You come down to Wood County, it's between $400 and $4,500. You come south farther, it's $7,000 because the quality of the hunt. The value of the land is totally dependent on the quality of the deer.
That seems to be the case.
Pretty much
you see the hunting
that's
property.
That's what we see. It's all opinions, but I mean the numbers don't lie.
Well, you can't grow corn and make it pay. But somebody that's got money and wants to come in and buy a big spread to hunt, that's attractive.
You know, one of the things that, you know, I'm on the Conservation Congress, so we deal with all this big game stuff. And one of the things that we found over the years was the farmer lost control in some counties of his land because, well, he needed a piece of machinery. He needed a new tractor, he needed a combine or something. Well, he had 40 wooded acres. So what he did was sold that off and got enough money for that from a hunter, lived somewhere else, and he went out and bought the machinery. And all of a sudden he's got deer all over his property and they're eating his crops and he's upset. He can't do anything about it. And the guy comes up on the weekend to hunt bucks with his bow and he didn't shoot no does. He figured the more deer he saw, the better his chances are. Well, that's arguable, okay?
Now we know management has got to play a factor in getting deer of this caliber.
You got to shoot some does and all that too. But a lot of farmers in certain areas of the state realized, sometimes too late, that you know, that 40, maybe that tractor or that new combine or something was important, but my gosh, once you lose the control over your land where the deer live, they're still going to come out and eat your crops.
Right. Because they're everybody's deer.
And I mean, there are ways for landowners too. They can get shooting permits and things like that, but it's always unpopular with the neighbors, and you know, and it's a challenge. It really is a challenge out there, and just hope that the hunter who owns the land realizes he's got to be a good neighbor.
Well, I've got one other thing, and I noticed, because we kind of talk about this is with the club, the Buck and Bear Club. You've got Teddy Roosevelt on a photo on the Boone and Crockett Club.
Yep.
Now I know, because I do quite a little bit of history.
Yeah.
So, as a president, he was a forefounding father of conservation in our country, setting aside the parks program, and he was a big hunter. You got to speak to that.
Yeah.
Was he not one of the first people that set up this whole concept of the idea of the perfect rack, the perfect buck, and the perfect animal in a lot of our North American and I guess other countries' animal populations? Speak to that.
Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt basically founded the Boone and Crockett Club. He believed that the animals that grew on the earth in North America deserved recognition, and the bigger and the better. You know, he thought that they deserved to be recognized for all to see. You know, and so back in the day when people didn't hunt a lot, there were some animals that were living a long time, and they were really getting big. And back in the day when they started finding dead elk, and they started shooting these elk, they were finding these 400-inch animals walking around out there, and that is just huge for an elk. You don't see many of them today anymore unless it's a heavily managed area. But what he did was get us to the point where we start recognizing those animals. Now, we score deer here, bear, elk. We have elk in Wisconsin. We score wolves. We don't score the hunter. And so many hunters are, well, you know, I don't know about that. Hey, we're recognizing your deer. And I always say to them, you know, probably when there's throwing dirt in your face, you know, and you're gone from this, your family is going to bring those deer in and let us measure them because they're so proud of you. Why wouldn't you want to enjoy it with them? Come in and be part of it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing to recognize those animals. And I know a lot of them say, well, I don't want to let that guy know that I got that one, you know. I mean, heck with it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Keep Wisconsin #1 in the record books.
Well, and so many people enjoy seeing fellow hunters. May not have killed that deer, but the appreciation of the size of that deer that shows up here, a lot of people are in awe, aren't they, of some of these
This
tremendous
place will
deer.
be packed today with people just standing there, going around these tables, looking at every deer. Go down to them bigger shows like the one that's in the Dells, used to be in Madison. There were dozens of people that videoed every deer. I mean, they're just deer junkies. They love it so much. And they shoot deer, I'm sure, but they just are, everyone is an original, and it means so much to them. I guess that's the thing that is the best about this. People appreciate these animals, what they grew.
And it's part of the camaraderie.
The deer camps are great.
It is, and in this day and age, it's getting a little bit more straining, I guess, that aspect of it. This is an opportunity for people to come together, kind of relive some of those moments they had when they killed that big buck. We don't always get to share that with our fellow hunters when we're registering our deer online and we're hanging it in the back barn and not bringing it to town to a registration station. So this gives us an opportunity to kind of, I guess, call it rejoice over that moment in time where we were, at a high point in our hunting careers.
Right. Deer camp. Deer camp is so critical to hunting, because it is families, they connect again. Weeks before hunting actually is going to happen, the phones are ringing off the hook. Oh, I got a new scope. I put a new sling on my gun, and they're talking about all these things. And that's just creates an excitement. And then they head out to deer camp. And then they are reminded of all the mistakes that were made by every hunter in camp, and then everybody laughs. And there's a few beer drank, and all that kind of stuff, and it's a great time. A lot of cards get played, and deer camps are a wonderful part of hunting. And Grandpa comes, he might not get out in the woods no more, but he ain't gonna miss hunting camp. He's gonna be there, and it's, I look so forward to it. I'm gonna be 80 years old this summer, and my boys come home. And one of my grandsons now has decided he thought he'd come hunting, and there ain't nothing more fun than getting everybody together.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we're now at the intertwined basketry with Mary and Phil, and she's got some great, I'm going to say artistic products out here. So neat. Talk about what you brought here today for us.
Well, we call these antler baskets, and they are made from harvested and shed antlers that we find, we buy, we're given. So I just create baskets using all the different sizes of the antlers, and even have a reindeer antler here, which is a little unusual for the Deer Classic. I've been doing it for about 25 years, and in addition to the antler baskets, I bring a series of traditional baskets as well for sale. So I custom make them. If you've got a special antler you want a basket made from, I'm happy to do that, and I also teach classes, and we have a studio at our home in North Freedom, Wisconsin. So this is a great show. We've been here before, and come on over. Okay.
In the doghouse hunter that hasn't spent so much time with his wife might want to buy one of these baskets to kind of peace offering there.
That's a thought. That's a good thought. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
They're wonderful. They're beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. I think they're pretty unique, so enjoy doing it. Enjoy meeting the people and talking to the people and finding out everybody's story about their deer. Good day.
How did you learn how to do this?
Trial and error.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Self-taught then?
And we have a guild in Sauk City that meets once a month, and so did a lot of experimenting with a group of women that are in that guild. But most it's just trial and error and just repetition. I've probably made about close to 800 of them this year. I sell many, many every year.
And so is this natural fiber? Is this
the primary material is called reed, and that's a vine that comes from Asia that's processed. So if you wet it, it gets flexible, and you can twist it and turn it, and allows you to create shapes with it. So, and Then there's some natural material like this is seagrass that I incorporate in it, leather and different materials as well. So yeah, it's a little different for this show, but it blends in. So we're happy to be here.
Absolutely.
So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, we're here with Driftless Outdoors
Yes.
with Darwin, and he's got a display here at the show today. And Darwin, why don't you tell us what you're about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're here obviously because of hunting and because of the deer blinds that we offer. A couple of things we really like is we find that probably 75% of the people that buy deer blinds from us are doing so because they want to take their kids hunting. And so we really like that. We think that's an awesome way to keep something going for the kids. So yeah, we're here. We build furniture as well, but right now the hunting blinds is the actual reason that we're here. So we think it's a good sport and try to do all we can to help keep it alive.
All right.
So, can you talk about your blinds and what makes them so special?
Yes, we have the metal for starters on the outside is your real tree metal. It's just the same metal that they would use on a pole barn, so it's guaranteed for 20-some years, and it'll stand as long as your house will. Inside, we have bubble wrap on the inside, so cut down on noise and keeps things. We have the tinted windows so they don't see you. These here are ones that happen to tip down. We also make the easy glide windows, but this one just has the tip down hinge windows. But carpet on the floor, yeah, just an excellent little getaway, and wait for the big boy to show up.
I see you have a 5% weekend sale if they order with you today.
Yep, anything ordered today or over the weekend is 5%, so that's just a little bit of incentive.
That's nice. That's nice.
We think they're reasonably priced the way it is, but that'll make it even better for somebody. So.
Nice place to be on a rainy, cold November day. Huh?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All righty.
So we're here with Wilson's Wild Works Taxidermy, Jeremy. Talk to us, about being here at the show.
Oh, sure. So this is our, I bet 7th year at the Deer Classic. We enjoy coming every year, supporting the community and of course the sport of deer hunting. And when I make my living doing that, so the sport and the species and the health of the deer herd, are my income. So yeah, but we like to come out every year and show what we do. We're right here in Richland Center. We specialize in big game heads, but also do fish, birds, avian, all those other things too.
You largely do deer heads. About how many deer heads a year do you do?
Roughly 80 deer heads, probably 5 or 6 elk, some aoudad, some exotic stuff, and 30 fish, along with some birds. That's probably more than a guy wants to do in a year.
I noticed the fish. So I've tried my hand at the taxidermy thing a little bit, and I enjoy the fish, but not only are you a taxidermist, but you got to be an artist, don't you?
For sure. Fish are my favorite, even though they're not the breadwinner around here. We're not very close to water, like the Great Lakes or the Mississippi River, but I love to paint. So yeah, I really probably enjoy the fish a little too much. Take a little too much time on them.
So I noticed the deer skull in the back.
Yeah.
Explain that process, how you get that artistic camouflage, whatever that look is.
Sure. So this is a hydro dipping, and what hydro dipping is, for those that don't know, is a super thin film that you lay on a bed of water, and then you activate that printed thin film with a chemical that turns it into a liquid, and then you can introduce a skull, boat parts, automotive parts, bows. All of your archery equipment is usually hydro dipped or something like that. And if you can imagine the color, you can dip it in that color. Anything from American flags to snow camel to chrome. It's becoming very popular.
And this is something you do at your shop?
Yeah, we do.
And how much would this cost somebody if they were coming to you to have their skull? They bring this hairy head with the eyes in it and everything.
So,
what is it going to cost them?
It shows up as a hairy skull, and out the door back to you $170. So
great.
Yeah. And what it does do is it covers up the bone. You know, your Europeans over the years will collect dust in those bone. You know, get deep into the bone, and they just continue to collect the dust, and you can't wipe it off, you can't vacuum it off. So this really puts a film on it that you could almost throw in the dishwasher, and it comes out nice and clean. Stays out that way forever. So pretty neat option.
Great.
Thank you.
So we've got Steve Welty here, a longtime bowyer for the area, and we've got a little bit of I guess a historical presentation here this year with the club. We're I guess preserving the heritage of archery. Steve is kind of integral to that. Steve, why don't you talk about what we got going here at this booth today?
So, Richland Center Archery Club has decided to start a museum. And when they decided to start a museum, I had a large collection of broadheads that go back to the beginning of when broadheads started being manufactured for bow hunting. And this is one case here. There's two more cases over there. They hold about 800 broadheads. And so they go back into the 20s, 1920s on up. And I quit collecting in 1996, but this is accumulation of 24 years of broadhead collecting with the American Broadhead Collectors Club, which is a national organization. And so each year they'll have a national get-together, and I think Montana Birch here and his dad Jim plan on going to the national convention this year, and they will be trading broadheads with us. And so this collection will continue to grow now, and it's a great thing for the community, for the archery club. I'm glad to pass it on. I'm reaching an age where some things need to go, and you have to find somebody that wants to carry on with it. And that's kind of what's taking place here.
So Steve, I've got to ask you, do you still build bows?
Well, actually, I started building the longbows in 1989 and selling them nationally all over the nation. And I built approximately 1,000 bows. So a few years ago, I decided that I no longer wanted to do this. I think I had my limit of fiberglass dust and wood dust over the years. And so I stopped building, and one day my son-in-law came to me and he said, by the way, he said, you know, your daughter has asked you a couple times if she could build the bows, and you kind of told her no. And he said, you know, she's kind of upset with you. And I said, well, she doesn't need to be upset with me. I said, we can talk about this some more. So my daughter, Shanda Mizey, is now the builder of the Death Wish longbows. So she has continued this on. So they're still currently being made. I kind of represent them, but she builds them. And that's kind of cool to know that somebody else wants to. And she is one of only 2 females in the whole United States that actually are bowyers and build bows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything else is built by men.
That's because you, though.
Yep. Yep.
That's great. I noticed some of the stuff that you've got out here in the old days of the archery club before my time. I do notice, though, that you have Wisconsin bow hunter pins here. Not a complete collection. Is that correct?
They go back to 1942, and I had the latest I got is 1962 all the way to 2026, and I've been collecting them for about 4 years now.
So I'm leading into this because I know we get out at the archery club and we see you putting this stuff together. Would you be willing to take anything anybody would donate in the line of maybe a collection of pins or broadheads or archery equipment that's of a vintage? Are you still collecting this stuff?
Yeah, anything from old bows to old archery memorabilia, anything I'll put into the collection and carry on from what people had.
So we'll just get contact either Montana or Jim Birch at the club, or any one of the club members, if somebody would like to make a donation to the museum that they're putting together.
Where is that located?
Boy, somebody give directions better than I'm going to give directions on the club.
It's located at 25561 Morse Path, Highway 14 East by Walmart, and you follow the signs up the road.
North.
So
up behind Goodwill.
So at the end of the day, you have to turn by the Goodwill and you have to go out to the T. You have to take a left, and when the road goes to the right, you go straight up the gravel road hill, and it winds around and it brings you up on the top of, I guess, heaven. And in the woods, there's an old shed there with a couple outbuildings. Don't drive into the nice new modern homes, but there's an old shed up there. It looks pretty rustic, but you'll know because you'll see some targets up there, some signs that there might be some people out there shooting archery. But it's actually kind of a unique location because it's kind of in the middle of the woods and kind of isolated. A lot different than a lot of clubs' archery sites.
Around to the other side of this so you can see the other two cases that are full of broadheads also.
Oh yeah.
So was this one of your first bows that you ever built?
No, I might be able to tell you what this bow is. This bow was built in 2001. This is one of my bows from 2001 that I've given Jim in Montana, and so that'll stay on display with the museum. They got more coming. I have a bow that I am giving the archery club, and it was Mabel Clannon's target bow. It's an HC 300 Bear target bow, and so this goes back to when I moved to Richland Center in 1963. My parents owned the spud nut shop, and we moved up here to Wisconsin in 1963. They decided that they wanted to move. I didn't know they were going to move. They came up here and bought a house with a storefront for the spud nut shop to start in. And they came back home and said, oh, guess what? Start packing everything up because in 2 weeks we're moving. And so that was my first knowledge that we were moving. But when we moved here, little did I know that house had an apartment upstairs. It had the local archery shop in the basement run by Jim and Mabel Clannon. And the Clannons, you got to go back a lot of years, but you know, they were really well known all over this part of Wisconsin because they traveled around with their archery stuff from their shop also. And I have Mabel's target bow that I bought from her probably about 1980. And so I was real close to them, and I wanted that bow, and now I'm going to donate that bow to the archery club. And they'll put it in a case also, you know, and preserve it. So there's a lot of history, a lot of things coming, and a lot of things that, you know, some people know about, some people don't know about, and you know, brings back a lot of memories for sure.
All right. Thank you. And here we are.
So as we get around here, you can see the collection. Like I said, these cases will hold about 800 heads. So some of these heads are extremely hard to find. There's several heads that I tried to get for a lot of years, but I just could not make the right trade. You have to have the right heads to trade because they want something of equal value. And if you find something that's extremely rare, was made in very small, limited quantities, you better have something really good or you're not going to be able to trade for it. At one time, there was a couple heads that I wanted. I offered to trade this entire collection for those 2 heads, and that they were so rare that that didn't happen and didn't come.
What's the oldest one you have?
You know, I can't even tell you where it's at in here, but it goes back to about 1923. Montana probably knows these heads better right now than I do because they've been on the walls in my basement for a lot of years, and like I said, I quit collecting in 1996, so Montana's been tagging these as he identifies them, and I gave him all the books for many years. Yeah, and these are kind of in order as far as alphabetic order, not in age.
Right.
So first we'll have to source that out.
So a head from 1923, I'm just guessing because Fred Bear was probably ultimately the guy that brought archery into the manufacturing and mass production industry that it is today.
A lot to do with it, yeah.
A 1923 broadhead was most likely fabricated on somebody's workbench in a basement somewhere out in a garage, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
Absolutely, and there's heads in here by people. Well, okay, now locally, and I'm not even sure which one it is. I need to track this down. But there is a Bagby head in here.
Okay, never heard of it, but yeah.
Lauren Bagby, who lived here in Richland Center, made a bunch of broadheads.
Okay.
They got in the registry of the American Broadhead Collectors Club. And one of these heads is on an arrow in here, and his son would be Lauren Jr., we call him Tad, who lives in Rockbridge, gave me one of those heads.
Oh, wow.
And he only has a couple left.
Wow. Yeah, so they're pretty rare.
Very rare. And so there's one in this collection, and I think there's only 2 other collections in the United States that have one of those heads in it.
Oh, that's neat. That's very neat. Yeah. We've got one of them anyhow.
Yeah. Larry Fry, who was local, Larry had one in his collection, but Larry is deceased, and that collection ended up burning in a fire, so that head is no longer in existence. So yeah, we have some very rare stuff.
So that's going to be your next step with this whole program, is working with Montana to get the lineage on some of these heads, because that history is as important as any of this, isn't it?
Fortunately, the American Broadhead Collectors Club puts out I don't know if it's quarterly, possibly it's quarterly on the heads.
Okay.
And so I had a huge stack of those booklets they put out that identify the heads. And so everything here is identifiable.
Okay.
And it's not it's not a problem. You just got to take the time to do it.
All right.
And many of these heads, he's been tagging them. Most of them are tagged on the back. I had them mostly tagged on the back side.
So somewhere there's a record of the Bagby in one of these journals.
Absolutely.
That's just wonderful. That's wonderful.
So he gets the job of going through all these, 24 years of pamphlets,
And isn't it great that you've got a young guy, relatively speaking, compared to some of us here?
It is, because this has to carry on.
Yeah.
And sadly, hunting and sportsmanship is under attack everywhere, basically. The Wisconsin Bowhunters Association is here. They are kind of like, for bow hunters, they're the lobby. They're the ones that pay attention to what all the laws and all the upcoming things are going to happen. And sadly, and I hate to say this, but I'd like to make some way to make an announcement today for people to please go over, if they bow hunt, join the Wisconsin Bowhunters Association. We only had 17 members in the entire county last year. And we had one of the lower membership counties in the state. And we need to support these people.
I'm a life member.
I am too. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you for being a life member.
Betcha. Betcha.
We have to take care of this stuff. It's on our shoulders, and having young people like Montana that are so interested in this sort of thing is a huge asset to everyone.
Right. Yep. It'll die, and we'll never reclaim it.
Exactly. I mean, I wasn't sure where these were going to end up.
Yeah.
I had no idea where they were going to end up. And then there's some interest got shown, and I said, well, let's make a deal.
Yeah. I appreciate the work he's doing on it. You know, we go out to the club and we see him out there, and he's dedicated quite a little bit of time just the searching, trying to figure out what he's got, and then trying to. There's a little bit of horse trading that goes on, like marbles in the day. You got one of these, I've got two of those. I'll give you one of those for one of these, kind of a thing.
I knew years ago, and okay, you came to my full-time archery shop that I had in my home.
Yes, I did.
And which we ran for 25 years, and so believe me, I mean, at one point, one of the last years that I had my shop open, I sold over 400 brand new bows out of my shop. That's out of my basement of my home. So you know somebody was at my house all the time. And at that point in time, I kept saying, somebody needs to take the reins and run the archery club as like it's their lifetime dedication. And fortunately, Jim Birch has basically done that. And I'm very proud of him and what he's done, you know, because clubs come and go, and they fall by the wayside, and you got to have that one or two people that want to take that and carry it on.
Yeah, Jim's very dedicated. He's there aren't many times you go out to the range and he's not there, and he's got a full-time job and raise kids and everything. It was said last night while we were here. It was sometime after 10 o'clock. It was said, this show that we have today probably wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Jim Birch. So a shout out to him. Glad he's doing it. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Thankful that we have somebody so committed to, passionate about our sport that we all love. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. And thank you for your contribution to our community. And all I can say is back in the 80s, stopping in there, didn't have much money in my pocket, but you get in your shop and it was always the latest and greatest, what you got? And you're looking at the stuff, and it was always kind of it was kind of, I guess, it was like shopping in a mall. It was a smaller mall, but it was
you know, those shops,
always a fun thing to do.
Truly, those shops don't exist anymore.
They don't. They don't.
It's commercialized. It's not the same thing, and I look back at what I did with my regular shop and then continuing on in longbows. It's very hard to duplicate today because it's just not the same. The hunting's not the same. Clientele's not the same. Everything has changed. It's well, we were at the grassroots of the entire program.
I remember some of those old bows. Oh gosh, they don't hold a stick to the ones they have today, do they?
No. And just stop and think. And I have that written up over there. At the time I started selling compound bows, there was only 5 manufacturers in the entire United States.
Oh my gosh.
And out of those 5, PSE is the only one that still exists. I mean, there was no Hoyt, there was no Matthews, there was not even making compound bows at that time. And so it's come a long ways. A lot of things have changed.
And was PSC an extension of, give me the history on that, because there is a history on the PSC.
Well,
who was the old, didn't they buy out an old company?
I don't believe they did, because at the very beginning, you had Allen, who was the originator that patented the compound bow. And then Olympus, PSE, Carroll, all bought patent rights to make compound bows. Jennings did not buy patent rights to build compound bows. And that didn't come to fruition until in the 80s. And there was a pending lawsuit between Allen and Jennings pending all those years, and Jennings finally lost. And the company, as we knew it, owned by Tom Jennings, went away, and Bear Archery bought Jennings. Now Bear was already making compound bows, so they had two compound manufacturers at that time. But you know, a lot of things have changed, and Pete Shepley with PSE, I believe, you know, that he formed PSE, which was originally in Illinois, and now it's in, I believe, in Arizona. But I think he bought the patent rights, and he formed that at that time.
That's where the connection was, I remember, because weren't those Allen bows from here, Wisconsin? Was that a Wisconsin?
You know, I can't tell you where the Allen bow came from. I really can't. I know a couple people that had them, and they may still have them.
I remember in the 70s, 75, 76, some of those first Allen compound bows. Sure. They look like bed springs and cables off. That's something you put together from your garage door.
I still have my original Carroll bow from 1971.
Oh wow!
And that I'll be giving that to Jim too. I got to go through and clean it up and make a couple changes and strange little things. I still have parts for those bows at my house.
That's so awesome. It's just so awesome. I think, of course, Fred Bear being from Michigan, I think the upper Midwest, Wisconsin and Michigan, probably the epicenter of the culture of modern archery, wouldn't you say? I mean, really, with the state shoot that in Necedah that comes, you know, every year, that annual shoot they have, it really is, isn't it? From the old stump sitters, right? The old stump sitters that were out there.
Absolutely. So yeah, and Michigan. You go over into Michigan today, and especially traditional archery. Wisconsin has never endorsed traditional archery the way a couple other states have. Michigan is one of them where you go over there, you can go to, and I haven't been over there for a few years now, but you could go over there and they would have a traditional archery event over there. And there would be nothing to have 20,000 people come through it on a 3 or 4 day event.
Wow.
So it's a lot bigger over there than what it is in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see that. Yep. Of course, we have Matthews literally in our back doorstep north here in Toma. Is it Toma? Sparta Toma. Yeah. So and they probably drive a little bit of the archery industry and competitiveness and
absolutely. I mean, they're a giant. You know, they came out of nowhere and became a giant overnight.
And they employ. I've been in the factory one of their factories years ago, and I think at that time they might have had 300, 400 people employed building boats, which is kind of good for Wisconsin. Yeah. It's awesome to have that in our own backyard with a sport that we all love and enjoy.
Yep.
So we're here with Dave from the Wisconsin Bowhunters Association, big association for bowhunters in the state of Wisconsin. Dave, why are you here today?
Representing Wisconsin Bowhunters, I happen to be the director for District 6. Wisconsin Bowhunters is the largest national bowhunting organization in the nation, also the oldest. We were established in 1944. Our entire purpose has always been to preserve, promote, and protect bowhunting. We preserve it by collecting the history. We are based out of Clintonville, Wisconsin, in fact, and we have a full museum in Clintonville with everything from recurves and other archery equipment, compound bows, broadheads, quivers, sights, you name it. If it was manufactured in Wisconsin and we can get a hold of it, we've got it in that museum for people to see. From a protecting standpoint, we work with the state legislature, we work with the DNR, Wisconsin Bowhunters Association has members on all of the big game committees in Wisconsin, promoting and making sure that archery's interests are looked after. For example, in the bear hunting, in the big game bear committee, elk committee, deer committee, turkey committee, we make sure that we've got representation on all of those. We also, again, try to promote archery by working with youth, working with the area clubs throughout the state, and again, just doing what we can to make sure that people are bow hunting today and they can be bow hunting well in the future.
So I assume you're selling memberships here today. What's an annual membership right now?
Annual membership to Wisconsin Bowhunters is $25. Again, happily sign people up today, but we also have a full website and people can join online. You can also get 3-year memberships, 5-year memberships, family memberships, all at reduced rates to save you some money. And then part of that membership not only is everything Wisconsin Bowhunters does for archery, but also you get a lot of things as well. The magazine that we produce, 3 copies of this per year, comes to every member. We have recognition programs for harvests for deer, bear, turkey, bobcat, coyote, elk. If you shot it with a bow, we have a recognition program to get that out there. And then also we have an honor roll over time. We have life members with as many as 150 deer kills through their lifetime, all in that honor roll and all recognized. So.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dave.
You bet.
Appreciate it. You bet. We're at the Goliath Pursuits booth with John Paskey, and he's here at our show. John, what do you got going here?
So we're a food plot company, so we help people get their food plots established. We can do planting, we can do maintenance, but the main thing is just supplying products. So we have multiple different seed blends that we have. We can also get straight product. And then we have a liquid fertilizer program that we've got from Plot Doctor. So that's important and easy for those small, hard to reach places where you can't get in any big tractors. You can spray it foliar, you can do liquid lime, improve your pH. We're just trying to help the little guy get their food plots established, and we do soil tests, which is the most important thing if you're doing a food plot. Is do the soil test, understand what your soil is like and what you need to have a successful plot. So I do consulting to help people design their food plots as well. So feel free to reach out and we'll help you get your plot established.
So where are you from?
Fort Atkinson.
Okay.
And we hunt in Boscobel area and Blue River, so always out in this area.
And you have a website?
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So we do YouTube video, we video our hunts. We also do video demonstrations on planting, frost seeding, and there'll be a lot coming this spring.
Great. Glad you're here. Thank you. You're at Archery. He's one of our exhibitors at today's event. Skip, what have you got going here?
We got bows. We got bows, crossbows, slingshots, a little bit of everything. They're made right here in Wisconsin, Madison. We used to be in Prairie du Sac. We moved to Madison October of 2022. This bow here is a unique one. It's actually going to be raffled off in partnership with HHA. All the money goes to the Honor Flight Society to get veterans to Washington D.C. But it's got Cerakoted all 4 branches of the military into the bow. The grip's got the Honor Flight type logos and stuff like that, and everything on this bow is all Cerakote and custom. So it's kind of a nice fundraiser. It's easy to get behind. And then from there we have crossbows that are. This particular one is all made out of carbon fiber. Weighs like 5.5 pounds.
Wow, that's light.
You can attest to how light it is.
Oh my goodness.
And then we get into little slingshots for bow fishing, where you have like your bottle reel on there. You can kind of pull that back and shoot fish. We have killed some deer with it, some small game and stuff, but that's another neat little device we make.
Awesome. That's very awesome.
And then we have the smallest bow we make is an 18-inch bow here. In the world record, black bear was shot with a bow this small. So,
wow.
But yeah, have any questions?
So these are all made in
Made in Madison.
Okay, so it's Wisconsin company.
Yeah, all American
Great.
made.
Wonderful.
I think the only thing that probably comes from China is our bearings, because it's really hard to source bearings from any place other than overseas. But I do buy them from an American company that gets them from China. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so if folks want to contact you, website?
Yeah, website is www.gearheadarchery.com. You can also Google search us. We're in Madison, so they can stop by the factory and watch bows being made, and we can make them one right there.
That's great. That's great. Thanks so much, Skip. We appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me
You
here.
betcha. So another one of our vendors here is Kevin with Edward Jones. Kevin, why are you here today?
I am here to just help people, plan any sort of financial needs that they may have. We kind of put up a sign, hey, you saving for that big buck property or anything like that, we can help you with savings for that. What we kind of realize is a lot of people might plan more on an upcoming hunt than they do on some of their retirement plans. So we might be here to help anybody out and answer those questions for them. So.
Maybe help them get to those special hunts, huh?
Exactly. Yep, and help put some of those big bucks on the walls for years to come.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. We're here at the E&M Plastics booth at the Deer Show, and Eric, could you talk about what you got sitting here for us today?
I bought a bunch of sample packs, and then I have regular packs, but we make ice fishing baits, and then walleyes and saugers and crappie baits for summertime fishing. We can make any color you want. We can make them glow. We can make glitters. I brought some of the molds with me today. We do a lot of the two-tone stuff, where you get different top and bottom different colors, like these here, little twister tails. But it's been fun. We make all kinds of stuff. Like I say, we can make any color you want, and prices vary depending on the quantity.
And so is this the equipment that you make?
Yeah, these are some of the molds that we do. The injectors, we got to melt the plastic down into liquid. We put the molds together and then we inject it with this. And the two-tone ones, we use a dual injector with a blending block that gives you the two-tone color here, where you can get the white and the pink. But like I say, we can do any color you want. We can make them shimmer, we can make them shine. We can do about anything.
So I've got to ask, what's the $1 million question is going to be coming up on a walleye season here? What's the most popular color bait combination here?
Purple. Anything purple is awesome on walleyes. Yes, but that's a purple and chartreuse paddle tail. That the chartreuse color glows on those. The purple, you know how deer see different colors a lot better than others? Walleyes see purple as blood red.
So you get a lot of requests for that
Purple.
combination?
Any kind of purple,
Mississippi
yeah.
River, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
But if you're walleye fishing, you don't know what to use purple. It's the way to go.
I'll remember that.
Striped bass. These here kind of shimmer and shine. Striped bass in the Mississippi River go nuts on them when they're biting. Better than these are just kind of a dull, they don't shimmer and shine, but like some of these really got a shimmer to them. And that really triggers the stripers into biting.
And so if somebody contacts you and says, hey, I want something made, and you can custom do whatever they want you to do.
What I'll do is I'll make up a small batch and take a couple good pictures of a certain bait, and then I'll message it to them. And if they're okay with it, then I can make the 100 or 1,000 that they want. But I always try to make sure it's exactly what they want, because there's so many variations of shading and stuff like that. You know, the darker or the lighter.
Sure.
And I have like 65 different colors at home.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, we can mix and match, and we can make just a standard color that's easy, or we can get into a complex recipe where it's 15 different colors going into a batch just to make a specific color. We have different glitters. I have a lot more at home. And different sizes. We can get very fine, do a bigger size glitter, and then we also have glow powder so that we can make them glow if you want. A lot of the guys with ice fishing stuff, they want them to glow. They fish at night or the dark water. So it's easy to make them glow. It's just a matter of getting the right combination that the people want.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
So we're here with Dusty at Precision Hunting Solutions.
Yep.
And Dusty, why are you here today at the show?
Well, I'm here. First of all, I hunt the area. I've been up here for 25 years hunting in the area. I love the hill country and beautiful day. It's a great show. And what I have is I have two products. One of them is a hitch and drag products designed to get deer out of the woods, areas you can't access with a vehicle. So maybe a swamp, a deep ravine. Use your truck, UTV or ATV to drag the deer out. Once you're done, reel the line back in. The other product that's brand new for this year is our pond product. So what that is, it's an easy product to put water at your stand site. So if you're hunting out in the middle of the woods and you want to draw deer to that area, you simply use a shovel, dig it in. We got a small pond that's about $70, and you can dig it in by hand and then immediately have water on your property. And it's worked great for us over the years. Extremely durable, holds a lot of water, and really brings deer into your site. So yeah, I love being at the show. Great to meet everybody here and talk to everybody in the community, and it's been great. Yep.
So Dusty, I noticed this hitch and drag. That's kind of your premier product here, and your
Right.
design?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
It's my design, yep.
So explain to me how, everybody here, explain how it works.
Yeah, basically what you do is this is a standard 2-inch tube. It goes into your receiver on every standard pickup truck, UTV, ATV has that. You run this line down to the deer. So one person is down by the deer hooking it up. The vehicle does all the work. You don't crank it, you don't winch it. It takes a lot of power to get deer out of a ravine. So basically what you do is one person's up driving, the other person's down by the deer. You communicate by phone or walkie-talkie, and then it pulls the deer out. Trophy bucks, we recommend a sled or to protect the antlers as you're dragging it out. But a doe or an antlerless deer, you can just simply hook it up, pull it out, hand reel the line back in, or on the other side there's a cordless drill adapter. Run a cordless drill, reel it back in, and you're out of the woods. So everybody's had a deer that has been a very difficult recovery, and we're trying to save some energy getting the deer out of the woods, essentially.
So you take out as much line as you need, and you put this pin in to lock it.
You put the pin in to lock the handle, and then on the back there's actually 2 bolts and 2 washers, and you do a figure-8 pattern similar to tying up your boat on a pier. So you don't tie a knot, you just weave it around in a figure-8 pattern. Yeah, absolutely, yep. So you use these 2 areas here, figure-8 around there, because you really don't want to tie a knot.
Right.
And then you're off and running. Once you're done, simply unweave it, reel it back in. It takes only about 2 minutes to reel this entire 600-foot line in, 200 yards, and you're off and running. Rope floats, visible, so your hunting party doesn't get tangled up in it as they're coming out to see you. And extremely durable, 2,000-pound test strength on this. You can haul any deer out in the Midwest, even not field dressed, you can still drag them right out of the woods.
So it probably with a UTV or an ATV, probably the best because the operator can control how fast they want. You literally can walk out with a deer.
You walk out with it, and our videos, everything's on there. You can find us on Facebook. The best thing is you just don't need to do the physical dragging anymore with this. Go around trees. I got a pulley system that goes around a tree so you can do a secondary anchor point and drive right out a logging trail and drag the deer right up to the logging trail, and then you're done.
And a little quicker than a conventional winch.
Exactly. Winches are so slow. You're exactly right. It takes about 20 feet per minute of a winch. You can imagine a very slow crawl, and you're re-anchoring. This, you can pull it out at walking speed, and you're out really quick, really quick.
And if you don't have the room, you can stop, back up,
readjust,
line
yeah,
in, lock
exactly.
it back.
Yep, lock it back in and go. And the alternative is physically dragging it. I mean, that's it too. Do it the easier way, and yeah, we love the product and been moving them a lot. Yep, absolutely.
I've been in some ravines. I just wish it was attached to me to help me get out of the slippery ground,
right?
Steep slopes. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. Yep.
Nice product.
Thank you. Thank you.
So here with United Country, one of our exhibitors at the show today. Brandon's here to talk a little bit about why he's here.
Yeah, so My name is Brandon Wickman. I'm a real estate agent and land specialist for United Country Midwest Lifestyle Properties. Our office is right here in Richland Center today. I've got the booth set up, meeting a lot of people from all over, the Tri-County area, and actually met somebody from Illinois today too. But basically, we're here talking about hunting land, farmland, country homes, working with buyers and sellers, connecting them, giving out free market analysis of your real estate. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm here to answer.
Well, thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you being here.
Yep, thank you.
So we're here at the Open Season Hunting Outlet, formerly Driftless Area Hunting, with Andy. And Andy's got a whole bunch of stuff here. Andy, talk about why you're here today at our show.
Oh, we're just here trying to promote some of the stuff we do. We've got some scopes, binoculars, trail cameras. We're doing a gun raffle, hats, shirts, all the normal stuff you do. We've got a couple vendors here with us in our food plots and mineral products, Midwest Mass. So he's been doing his thing down there for us. We sell all their products. I guess that's most of what we got going on.
So you're a relatively new business owner in Richland Center. You're downtown.
Downtown. We've owned it a little over a year and a half now. We bought it from Rick Fruit in 2002. So yeah, still trying to get our feet underneath us with it, but going good so far.
Great. We appreciate you having it, and I know there's a lot of hunters that are happy that the store's still open and that you're taking on the challenge. And,
do what we can.
Yeah, great. So anything up and coming with the shop that we should know about?
It's mostly business as usual. We didn't change a lot with what was going on. Everything was working before, so we just kind of kept things doing what we were doing before.
So are you still buying and selling guns?
Yes, we do.
So do you do commissions?
We do consignments, or we can do outright buys, or we do trade-ins. So whatever works best for the situation, we'll work with everybody.
And so if nobody's been in the store, roughly about how many firearms do you have sitting on the shelves that I could look at right now?
About 550 between rifles and pistols. And it changes every day, but we try to keep about 550 in there.
So, and if you don't have something on the shelf, can you order?
We'll just
anything I would need?
Special order whatever you need, depending on availability, but we'll order up whatever you need and get you set up.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks so much for being at the show today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for your guys' video. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you betcha.
There's about 400. Beautiful.
I do it. I think we finally got done, so.
Well, here we are, already just about ready to turn March. And, usually there'd be snow on the ground. Will we have it in April? Will we have it in May? We hope you'll come back next week and every week to watch our town.